you graduated, Sarah, from our 2021-2022 seasonal yoga teacher training course. So that's in September.
It was September. Yeah.
September last year. And I wanted to ask you a few questions. The first thing I was going to ask you was, why did you choose to do a yoga teacher training?
Okay. I think I've been practicing yoga for probably coming up to 10 years now, but never really gone into it in any depth in terms of I would show up and I would do a class once a week. It would make me feel great. I'd go away and that was that really. But I think I just tapped into how good I felt after a class, and I thought, well, there must be something more to this. And that sort of sparked my interest in wanting to find out a bit more about the history and the principles of yoga and everything that's behind it, not just turning up and putting my body in some poses each week. So yeah, my interest grew, and really I thought a great way of expanding my knowledge would be to do a teacher training course, and I never really necessarily thought I would teach at the end of it. I just thought it would be a great way to expand my knowledge and for my own personal sort of growth and development, really.
Amazing. Yeah, and interesting that you didn't think you were going to teach, which
No.
is a common theme. So the other thing that I was going to ask you is, what attracted you to seasonal? I mean, obviously you hadn't, at the point when you kind of showed an interest in seasonal yoga teacher training, you hadn't done any seasonal yoga.
That's right.
Until you started doing a few classes with me. So what kind of appealed to you about seasonal?
Well, you're absolutely right. I hadn't really even come across it as a concept, but I definitely felt that shift in myself moving through the seasons, and my mood would change depending on the seasons, and I just thought, well, you just have to get on with it. But actually it made a lot of sense to lean into that and to I guess sort of embrace what nature is guiding us to do, and so to me it just all clicked into place and made a lot of sense, and it just worked really, and I think then joining the classes and getting a feel for it really, and I enjoyed it, and I felt that it was really great that it's really accessible, because even if it's a really high energy season, there's still something for everybody, and you can make it work for everybody with seasonal yoga. And I think bringing in the Qigong and the Chinese 5-element system, it just gives it that extra dimension as well. So it was all that sort of really appealed to me, and I just wanted to find out a bit more, really.
A lot of the people that I talk to say once they explore it, it makes sense. It's almost like it's stuff that you already know.
Yeah.
People will have those moments of, yeah, of course I knew that already, really.
Yeah, exactly it. It's not rocket science, but you need somebody to tell you sometimes, or you need to experience it, or to think about it in a slightly different way, and then it all clicks into place. So,
Brilliant. And I remember you starting my classes, because you were obviously doing yoga on Zoom with me, and was it what you expected, or did you not know what to expect?
I think I didn't quite know what to expect, but it probably wasn't what I expected either, somehow. It was very different to some of the yoga I've done previously, and it took a while, probably only about 3 weeks, for me to think, oh yeah, I really like this. So it took a bit of getting used to, but actually in reality it was, very quickly sort of felt right.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Brilliant. So you signed up for the course, and we were together for 12 months, meeting once a month for a module, and you guys were all in touch with each other in between times. What were the sort of kind of highlights or standout things about the course for you?
The fact that it was a whole year, and you were given homework to go away and to do, and to build that into your life. So it made it something that was an ongoing experience, and it gave you tools that you could bring into your life as well. One of the things that I really enjoyed about the course was how well structured it was, and it really built on the things you'd learnt the month before, or the pranayama you'd been learning that month. You then moved on and developed it and did something a little bit more advanced the next month. So the way it all fit together was just made it work really well for me, and also because you're practicing in real time with the seasons, you could experience that as the seasons were changing and learn about the season that we were in whilst we were in it, which was great. I think yourself and Melissa brought the group together. We felt like a real team. It felt a very safe environment. Everyone was really supportive, and I think it was down to you and Melissa really cultivating that kind of culture and a space where everyone felt that they could share, or as much or as little as they wanted to. There was no judgment, and we were all just in it together, so that was a really important aspect. And I think part of that as well was with the homework buddy system. So you always had somebody to check in with if you were struggling, or ask a question, or just to kind of check out how you were both doing throughout the month. So that was really important and helpful.
It was interesting that you said on the session that we ran the other day, the information session, where you said that you're naturally quite a reticent person, but that you felt comfortable.
That's right.
to kind of join in or be involved.
Yeah, definitely. I usually would have shied away from speaking in a group of, there was nine of us in total. That's quite a big group to speak in front of, actually 8 other people, but yeah, I felt very comfortable too. And I think because what we were talking about was so meaningful to everybody, and everyone was experiencing it, that it just felt right to share with everyone.
So having completed the course, and that was quite sad in a way, wasn't it, when we kind of got to the end? I think we probably all felt like we could have sort of continued. Well, let's just meet once a month and do more stuff, do more yoga, definitely. Talk about these important things that we were talking about, But do you feel that your practice has changed? What you have changed? Has anything changed as a result of doing the course?
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've learned that yoga isn't just being on your mat once a week for an hour and moving your body. It is that, but I've built yoga into my life, into just, it could be 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, just thinking in a different way, or breathing, or there's something that a yoga technique that you can use in every situation that makes everything better almost, or improves things, or helps your perspective on something, a particular difficult thing that you're going through. So that's been really important for me, and I think part of that was the fact that the course is a year and you're doing it all throughout the year. So those practices just come naturally, I suppose. And I think I talk about yoga a lot more to anyone who'll listen. So probably boring my friends and family now, but I think the course kind of really built that enthusiasm and just want to share what I've learned with more people. And you just think, well, it's so important, and why don't more people know about this? And it makes you feel, it can really improve your well-being and how you're feeling, so why wouldn't everybody want to know a bit more?
I agree.
So I'll tell them.
Totally. And I guess that's what we tend to think of teaching as. It's a very specific thing, which is, you run so many classes every week and it's regular, but teaching is, I think of it perhaps more as sharing, and you can be sharing yoga in a conversation with somebody, you know, you might recommend a little breathing practice to someone, or, you know, just a simple movement, or, you know, even something like being more mindful. You know, you might share any of those things with somebody, and that's really still kind of teaching.
That's true.
In a way,
Yeah.
isn't it? So even the people that end up at the end of the course not teaching, I think still share with others.
I think you're right, yeah.
Having said that, so you're going to be teaching a class.
I am.
A regular
Real
class.
people, yep.
So you've got this class
That's right.
starting in March
Yes.
at the Sadie Centre
That's
on a
right.
Sunday morning.
Yeah.
That's a really exciting
It is.
development.
Yeah, super exciting. Yes, and I don't quite know where to start. There's so much I want to share that it's trying to pare it down and think, right, I've got an hour and 15 minutes. What can I do in this session? And then, you know, bring in another element for the next session. So, no, that's fantastic. And it's been lovely to have the support of everyone on the course, really, to kind of get me to that point. So, yeah. No,
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? Considering that you started the course not thinking that you were going to teach.
That's right. Yeah.
And you're about to have a regular class at, you know, probably one of the more sought after venues to teach at locally
it seems to be,
as well.
yeah,
So,
it's really exciting. But yes.
Fantastic. There were some things that we did on the course that perhaps you didn't have experience of before. So you obviously had an experience of the postures, the asana, you know, and sort of movement work. But things like meditation and kind of more detailed pranayamas and things like that. Did you have experience of those before the course?
No, not at all. I mean, some basic pranayama I'd done, but so that was, and again, that was really helpful, the way the course built that up. And you know, we did learn about the things like the contraindications and what it's useful for, which I didn't know that before, even with the simple ones. I was just practicing them without really understanding the science behind it. So that was a huge development for me. And meditation was always something that sounded very daunting and like it would be lovely, but I'd never kind of gotten around to trying it, or been a bit put off trying it. I thought I could never sit still. But no, again, I think we took baby steps with everything, which was brilliant. But I think even people that had meditated before, it's maybe a different technique to learn. So even if you're a seasoned meditator, I'm sure learning a different technique and meditating in a room with other people, I found really beneficial.
Yeah. Thank you, Sarah.